Hello everyone, welcome to Code Uplifter. Today in this video would be understanding one of the core concept of Node.js, which is called event loop. We all know that Node.js is single threaded. That means it processes all the requests one by one. Okay. Normally, if you'll see the single thread means all the requests will come in one thread. Okay. Now, a question can arise on your mind that okay, let's say this is Node.js server. Now, let's say this is lot of request is coming to Node.js server. This is Node.js server. Now, your question is that okay, if a server is being fed with lot of multiple requests, then how Node.js really handles all those requests concurrently? So the concept is called concurrency. How Node.js handle concurrency? This question is literally almost all the interview will face this question if you are applying for Node.js. So Node.js being a single threaded, how it handles concurrency? This is a very common question that you will always get. And the answer to this question is Node.js follows non-blocking, a very important term called non-blocking model of operation. So Node.js is non-blocking. And how it is non-blocking? It follows event loop. Okay. Now we will understand clearly what is going on behind actually. Let's consider that this is a server. Okay. Now lot of request is coming to the server. Consider like Geo is building a application in Node.js, and lot of millions of requests are getting hit to the server. Now the server needs to handle all those requests. Now, so if it will follow single threaded and blocking model, like let's say one request came, then the server goes to hit the database. Now till the database gives the response, it will wait. I mean, this is if it will follow synchronous mode of operation, then all the requests will be getting piled up, and Node.js will not be eventually clearing all those piles, and it process will be very slow. Now, what Node.js follows being single threaded? It follows the event loop. Let's say, for example, this request come 1, request 2, request 3. Node.js starts to read the request. Whatever the synchronous operation that it can do, it does it. Then if at all any asynchronous operation like any DB calls, database calls, any file system calls, any timer kind of operations are there, then it throws all those to call stack. Okay. And gives the response, and it goes to cater the second request. Then again it goes to third request. Okay. Now as soon as the first request comes, the operation is getting completed. After this, let's say this fast request operation is getting completed, it will send the response to the user that okay, fast is completed. First user will be getting their response. Second user will be after its operation getting completed, third user or second user also getting, and similarly third user will also be getting. So in this way, no one is getting blocked, everyone's operation is running parallelly. So that's the basic model actually Node.js follows. This is called event loop. Now let's try to understand very clearly what it happens. Basically, if you see in server, there are few operations you all know, like maybe it is doing some file reading operation, maybe it is doing some database queries, database CRUD operations like create, read, update, delete, or some it is getting some network calls. Okay, like some calling a REST API or calling some GraphQLs. Okay, sending some data to some messaging system like RabbitMQ and Kafka, and doing some timer operations as well. Okay, now all these are asynchronous operations. Node.js, what it does, any kind of asynchronous operation, when it finds, it sends all those to call stack that we discussed right now. Now inside the call stack, There is a flow which Node.js follows. First phase is timer phase. Now inside timer phase, like whatever the call, let's say set timeout is there, set timeout always runs there. Then in IO callback phase, like let's say fs.read, I mean file operations or DB queries. So all these things run in this callback phase. Then in idle prepare phase and poll phase, basically it decides that okay, if at all anything is there present or not. If at all it is present, then it prepares to take that operations. And also in the check phase it does the same thing. And in the close callback phase it does operations like you can understand, like let's say if you are using web sockets and on closing of the socket, that you need to do some operation like socket dot on close event. So all these close event calls are taken up at the last phase. Now for example here, so I've just written the same thing. So timer phase, it runs the same set timeout, IO callback, fs read file. Poll phase handles all the new IO events. Check phase, one thing I have missed. Check phase actually it run the set immediate. In interview sometimes you get questions like set immediate run fast or set timeout run fast. Now, let's understand this question very briefly, that for example, a set timeout is there and set immediate is there, then which one will run fast? So the answer to this question is that set timeout and set immediate will run varyingly depending upon the situation, which will run first. It will completely different if at all in the libub, in the event loop, you can say any IO callback is already there or not. If at all in any IO callback, like any read file operation or any DB queries is still present, then Node.js I mean event loop, what it does, it goes to the check phase and gets this set immediate callbacks to run fast, and this timer will get in the next cycle. Okay, if at all any no, I mean if at all no IO blocking IO callback is present, then set timeout run first and set immediate run second. Okay, so it depends on the situation that set timeout run first or set immediate. Okay, so for example, I have written one code. Let's say this is first line console log start. Then this is a set timeout, console log set timeout. Let's say this is after 0th second. Okay, then set immediate, it is printing set immediate. Now const fs equals to require fs, and this is you are reading a file, and after reading the file you are registering a callback to say that file read is complete. Now for example, you are writing a promise.resolve, then in after it gets resolved you are trying to print console log promise.resolve, then at the end you are trying to print console log end. So what is the expected output here? The expected output is not start, then you will go for set timeout. It is not like that. The expected timeout is it will first print stat, then it will straight away come to end. Now try to understand why it will come. See, start and it will skip everything and it will come to end. Why? It will follow the event loop. This is the thing what I was telling. So let's say request came, it will print start, it will print end, then it goes to cater the second request, and all these things starting from 2, 3, 4, 5, it register all these things in the event loop, in the call stack. After all these things are getting completed, then it will send the response, and meanwhile it will not sit idle, it will start to take the second request. So now, so all these things are async calls. It will start to register all these call stacks. So set timeout will go, now set immediate will go, now fs will go, now this will go. Now up within this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So among these 4, you can see this is a IO callback, this is a timer, this is a check phase, and this is micro task. Promise.resolve is a micro task. Okay. Now, so first of all, start will print and end will print. We understood. Then it will print promise.resolved. Why? Because it is a micro task. Micro task in between, if at all it is getting registered inside the event loop, it will as and when it gets completed, it will start to send it to the main stack. So promise.resolve get printed. Now file read complete will get printed because you see it will, yeah, so it will, what it will decide, this is the IO operations. Okay. Now unless until the IO operation gets completed, it will not proceed to any timer phase or check phase. So IO operation is the first thing, so it will try to complete all those things. So FS file read, it will start to it will try to complete any database calls, also any database queries, CRUD operations, it will try to finish that first. Then after this, it will not go for timer phase, it will go for immediate, set immediate, and accordingly the set immediate will call back, will be going to the main thread. Now after this, set timeout will come in the next phase of the cycle of the event loop. Okay. Now in the next phase, in the at first only set timeout will come, and all these things are would have been completed by that time, and the response will be completed. Okay. Now in this pattern, so moral of the story is like Node.js follows non-blocking model by following the event loop pattern. Okay. So that it can cater multiple requests simultaneously. Okay. So this is this you can say heart and core of the Node.js. Okay. And many times you will face these questions. Thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day ahead.